All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're here. We're back in SRC. We're on a route in Colombia that is 50k. It's pretty flat for 45 with a hilltop finish. So I am back in SRC today simply because the draft dynamics have changed and I wanted to get a feel for it. I've heard good things. I've heard that there is draft available on the flats now. So I've seen in the results recently the more lightweight riders have had more success comparative to the racing in previous months. So I am testing it out, and at the moment, I'm trying to stay in the draft. SRC is always hard. There's some of the best guys in the world, so there's a lot of aggression. So as you can see here, losing the draft a little bit, just trying to get a feel for it, working hard to close some gaps. But I do start to feel it out and really get a sense for what's happening. My general goal is to primarily hide in the wheels, and then see if I can learn some of the craft on the different types of terrain, the ups, the downs, and that kind of thing. Now, the race was pretty much a series of over-unders throughout. So there were sections that were really quite difficult, but nothing that really had me feeling like I was under too much trouble of getting dropped or anything like that. It was just good, honest, solid racing. Um, so we are now 10Ks from the flat. Some of the big riders are attacking. It's kind of hard to see who's attacking. Um, Certain avatar appearances would get given a gap and others wouldn't. So I assume the guys in the race kind of know what the avatars look like a little bit, because you can't really see from the right hand side who the people ahead of you are. Um, so that was quite an interesting feature, but for the most part, I'm just trying to react to the avatar uh, animations, because when they kind of go hard, they do that specific style, as you can see there, and then just kind of predict what would happen to stay in the wheels. I was really switched on mentally for this. It was a night race, which since the Zwift Games is finished, I've been doing some night races, and my form has been just fantastic. I think there's definitely something to be said for a bit of a disadvantage of those early morning races that the Aussies have to do for the Zwift Games at 4 a.m. But again, really hard here. The heart rate's up over 160, so for me, that's pretty solid for these kind of over under type efforts. Now heading towards 170s, and I think a few guys start to get distanced here, or at least a bit of fatigue. But from here, it kind of eases up a little bit, heading into the climb in about 5Ks or so. I think there were still probably about 20 guys in Cat 1 left, so I didn't really have crazy expectations as we went into the climb. I felt good. I was ready, like I was pretty motivated and fired up to give it a good crack. But the level's just so high in SRC, like you just don't really know where you sit in this style of race after a pretty solid hour of racing already. Now starting the climb, and I'm feeling pretty comfortable, but so's everyone. I would just want to make it through the first probably 2 kilometers and just respond to the moves and make sure that I'm there in a good spot. Because when you're there deep, you get that extra motivation and belief that you can really do it. So we're playing the whole climb on fast forward here, but we'll play it in full. And what happens, as usual, some of the stronger guys are heading to the front and really pushing the pace. A couple of guys get a gap here, and I'm not too concerned about that. That's kind of the race for the top three or so at the moment, and I'm certainly not expecting to finish on the podium. So these are my guys here. I'm hoping that with their sustained pressure, they can drag us to a good result. As riders slowly start dropping off and dropping off, it's a 50.5k race or 50.3, one of the two. Just FYI, because you can't see that data on your what you're viewing here. Uh, Still feeling really good, and at times I accidentally push to the front out of the draft. Again, on this kind of climb, you'll notice that there are some really solid parts up over probably like 7.5, 8 watts a kilo briefly, and then it eases back to about 5.5. And there are times, as you can see, again, where I'm not drafting, so I'm probably a bit too antsy, I guess, but it's all learning. And I haven't done an SRC where I've been this competitive, probably ever, but it's all learning as I get a feel for the new dynamics, and things are really starting to stretch now. Some riders are starting to feel the pinch. I think there are maybe still like 13 riders in the hunt of a top 10, maybe 14, with about 2 and a bit kilometers to go. I'm feeling surprisingly comfortable, but I can only assume that that means that some of these guys are also. So I'm expecting some fireworks pretty soon from some of the top riders. So here it comes, and when it comes, you have to be mentally switched on and ready to go. Which at the time I don't necessarily think that I was, but I found that fight as I saw the danger escape in just a moment. It must be really soon where things really start to heat up, because again, I've just pushed to the front accidentally. And um, yeah, we're passing some riders from other categories. Here it is. There's where things start to happen. So I'm up over 500, trying to stay in these guys' wheels. Again, it's hard to know because you can't see exactly which riders they are, but this part's really difficult. Just trying to stay in that draft, and there's certainly separation opening up as we are getting towards the KOM banner. Got that warning. I'm really starting to hurt now. The legs are pretty much giving out, but we're just trying to kind of stay as strong as we can. I start to lose those 3 or 4 riders in front, unfortunately, and I'm now a bit concerned that I'm feeling pretty cooked with 500 to go, and some of those guys just behind me are in a good spot to pounce on me. But luckily, I'm there with Kaminsky, and just the fact that I'm there with him, I think, provides me with enough motivation to really fight hard in this patch. And then distance wise, I know the finish line's not too far away, and I'm able to kind of push for the line. And Kaminsky and I have a little bit of a close finish, and I managed to come across the line for 6th place. So absolutely ruined. That was a big PB there for 12 minutes. I think I did 415 watts for 12. Previous PB was 407. So, yeah, really great to come back to SRC and have a good experience with the dynamics. The form's good, but the racing was good too, and I think I'll be back. So, kudos to my Whoosh for continually refining their game. Yeah, can't say any more positive words. So thanks for watching. I'm not sure we'll have too many more top sixes going forward, but we'll certainly do my best. Thanks, everyone.